Hi everyone, it's Mindy here talking about the formative assessment I created, and it's a writing in response to literature. So my rationale for this assessment came because I had to read a novel for the school that I'm going to be an English language development teacher at next year, and the book is called Bless Me Ultima. It's pictured here by Rudolfo Anaya, and he's a pretty famous Chicano author, and so the principal picked this novel for all of the students, 9 through 12, to read, including the staff, over the summer. So after they read the book, the kids are supposed, or as they're reading the book, they're supposed to do different types of writing as they read. The 9th and 10th graders assignment is pretty similar, and then the 11th and 12th graders have a little bit of a harder assignment. And I think that the 12th graders are actually going to have to lead a Socratic seminar for the underclassmen in the beginning of school, so like the first week. So I thought that I would adapt the assignment pictured in the next slide sent to me by my supervisor and improve the rubric that they're going to use to grade the students. So here's the paper that I received in the mail along with the book, and it's basically an overview of what the students are going to get It's literally the assignment that the students are getting. And so here the 9th graders are informed what they should pay special attention to, who Rudolfo Anaya is, what book they're supposed to be reading here. Then the assignment is here. And the freshmen and sophomores are supposed to create, freshmen are supposed to create 10, and sophomores are supposed to create 20 journal entries from the perspective of one or more of the characters in the book. They have to be 5 to 6 sentences, and they have to present them, 3 of them in the first week of school. And they have to include the characters' inner thoughts, feelings, experiences outside of what is presented in the book. And so basically the assessment would be, can the students create a journal entry like the one pictured here with first-person perspective and insightful commentary about what the characters in Bless Me Ultima are going through. I included the 10th grade assignment as well because it was similar, and I sort of liked the example that they gave in the 10th grade journal entry a little bit better. And so this is literally the assignment that the kids are doing this summer. So here's the original rubric, and I have the warp the analysis here. So I had the washback. Students will know some basic knowledge about why they scored poorly or well. As you can tell, they've got some information here about what they're looking for. All entries are thoughtful and accurate. Entries are descriptive and demonstrate proper use of English grammar and conventions. Less than 3 errors in quantity. 20 complete entries with a great deal of detail and connection to the story. And so it's very basic, and I think that it's just kind of general, so I think it's a little more holistic rather than analytical. As far as authenticity goes, the students' writing should help them understand characters, but demonstrate their ability to write in first person and connect with their reading. And so I do think it's an authentic assignment. Furthermore, reliability. Students, because this was originally a summer assignment, could have other people write it for them. That was one of my worries. However, if a student submits a paper and then has another writing assignment, and their writing for this assignment drastically differs from their next assignment, as an educator, I should be able to tell, oh, this student didn't submit their own work for this assignment. They tried to pass someone else's work off as their own. But this right here was a little bit of an issue for me. Practicality. the rubric could be improved, and I'll demonstrate the improvements that I made in a few more slides. And the student expectation is clearly defined on the assignment page. So it is practical to have students complete 10 journal entries over the summer, or 20 for the sophomores. Here is the assignment revamp, and I'm going to flip to another screen. I've included the link here, and I'm going to flip and show you all the additions and subtractions that I made to the original freshman assignment. I made the rubric more clear and changed point value from 25 to 100. Defined the assignment via bullets and provided a more detailed example. I changed the due date from the first day of school to the third day of school, and the assignment, if I were to actually use this as an assessment, would be completed in class rather than at home and then brought to school. I subtracted, instead of 20 journal entries for the sophomores, it's really 10 for the freshmen, I changed it to 5 because students will complete the assignment in class instead of over the summer to improve authenticity and reliability. So here is the revamped assignment. I just typed it into a Google document, and I might use it again later. And if you guys have feedback about how you like it, how you don't like it, how I could improve the rubric further, I'd really appreciate that feedback if you have it. And so here I changed the structure. Instead of a large text with stuff underlined, as you saw in the first piece of paper that the school sent out, I changed it to bullets. I like bullets a little more. They're a little more clear for me personally. Then I included an example in different text in italics, and then I included a more detailed rubric. So as you see, I changed the grading scale from 30 to, like, from 0 to 30 to 100 to 0, and I included a little more specifics. Instead of just leaving it general, like most entries are thoughtful, I included literally like 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 1 out of 5. And then I included grammatical errors like they did on the first rubric, and I included first person point of view because I feel that this first person point of view is one of the skills that they are supposed to be able to demonstrate. They're able to recognize first person point of view, and then henceforth they're able to create first person point of view with descriptive and accurate details derived from the novel itself. So quality would be worth 50 points, quantity would be worth 50 points, and again these 5 journal entries would be written in class. Lastly, this was not included in the original assignment, but I went ahead and added it. Basically, I showed students what it would be like for them to have a template. So if these were my actual students, I would ask them to use this or create something that looks very similar to it. Lastly, I told the students that if they wanted to include Spanish vocabulary in their writing assignment, they needed to provide the translations for those Spanish vocabulary words down here. The reason that I did this is because Rudolfo Anaya's book has Spanish throughout it. He's actually bilingual, and so the novel pulls from both Spanish and English to create this beautiful piece. And so I wanted to incorporate that in because I know that actually 177 of my students are bilingual students, and so I figured that this would bring another authentic element into the assignment so that they would be able to relate a little bit, and if they wanted to use their first language in their writing, they could. So that's how I revamped the assignment. Again, I'm going to post this Google slideshow into discussion board. I'm also going to post this actual Word document link into discussion board. And so let me flip back to this slide real fast. Okay. All right. Here's the revamped rubric, up close and personal. I sort of already went over it on the other paper. And here's my analysis using Warp V. Washback. Students will be able to see more clearly where they lost or gained points on the new rubric. Teachers will also be able to use the assignment for a test grade without having to convert the 25 to a 100. As a teacher, time is of the essence, and so for students to get feedback on this writing assignment, I will need to grade, or the teacher will need to grade the writing quickly. And so I think having it as a 100 scale and more specific on the rubric will aid with that. The authenticity is the same, except that first person point of view writing is now a graded element. The writing is more reliable because it will take place during the class period, and the rubric is a mix of holistic and analytic scoring. And personally, I prefer analytic scoring because, as our textbook states, basically it breaks writing down into elements that can be measured, and I just like that specificity. I understand how to do holistic scoring because I taught in Texas for the last 3 years, and that's how English 1 and English 2, their end of course exam is done. It's holistically scored, so I've studied that in depth, but I just prefer this analytic scoring because I feel that it gives students a better understanding of exactly what they did well and what they did poorly. So I think if I were to further improve this assignment, I would make the rubric more analytic. Practicality. Students can be expected to write 5 paragraphs over 2 days. I think that's acceptable to expect out of freshmen. And paper and pencils are easy to provide, especially for the first week of school. Each student also has a hard copy of this novel over the summer period, and the rubric will make grading the 5 paragraphs for the students easy and fast. And in fact, if they want to grade themselves as they go along, they can do that as well. Validity. The student scores will reflect whether or not they can create several pieces of first-person narrative writing using the correct conventions of English. So, and again, the scores will probably be more valid because of the rubric revamp. This is the reference that I use to talk about analytic versus holistic scoring. Again, I would love your feedback about how you guys think this rubric is better, or how you think maybe it's not better. Just if you have any opinions on how to make this writing assessment be more effective, I would love to hear it. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to hearing from you all.